lazy days of summer may not be quite so lazy. When you're kicking back with your feet up, working around the house, or chilling with the kids, you can have fun, but you don't want to let your guard down when it comes to safety. Amy Cronin is the president of Strategic Code Solutions, and she's spent her professional life making workplaces safer. In fact, she was with the National Fire Protection Association for 17 years and also with the National Institute for Occupational Safety and Health before that, which is why I'm glad I'm wearing closed-toed shoes, Amy, because I know that's important around the workplace. Let's talk about some of the things this morning that people may not be considering, because people, of course, think about water safety and sunscreen and that sort of thing. When we think of carbon monoxide, a lot of times we think about the winter months. Tell me where carbon monoxide can strike in the summertime.
Well, anywhere, if it's in your home, if you have appliances that use certain fuels, such as wood or kerosene, natural gas, any of those things, it could build up if the equipment isn't working properly, or you're using something that's intended to be from the outdoors, you're using it indoors. It could build up, and that could be a real problem.
I'm actually glad that you mentioned that, because I have an outdoor space heater for when in the cooler months, and someone in my family brought it inside, and I went, no, we got to get this out. But people, you're just not thinking that it could harm you.
You really don't think of it. And in fact, Fox 25 reported in May there was a family from Kingston, Massachusetts. Their electricity was out, and they brought the generator into their garage. And it's still not recommended to ever go in a garage, but when they closed the garage door, the carbon monoxide built up, and the family ended up going to the emergency room, and it turned out okay. But I mean, we really need to think about it with generator usage in the summer months, because when lightning strikes or trees are down, it takes out your electricity.
Well, speaking of the garage, that's where we keep the lawn mowers, and it doesn't matter if you have a standing mower, if you have a riding mower, if you have a push mower, you really do have to be careful. And we're not just talking about kids. I mean, there have been at least 2 incidents that we've heard of in our newsroom where people have been injured by these stand-up mowers in particular.
That's right. And, it's a really hot issue right now, because there were 5 medical societies that put out joint press releases that their #1 home safety issue was lawnmower safety. And it was interesting, because I had never really thought of that, and I think most families don't, but the data really show it's unbelievably dangerous.
You also talk about the fact that, when we're outside, when we're making s'mores, if I'm taking a page out of my own life book, or just sitting around a bonfire or a campfire, there's a real concern for burns. And tiki torches are out there as well.
Right. I love the tiki torch. They just make the party.
They really do, don't they?
With any of the outdoor fires, you really want to think about combustibles being close to it, and particularly with something like a tiki torch, having an awning or a tent above it.
Or a branch even.
Yeah, a tree branch. I mean, you really want to think about it. Is it too close to the deck? What do you have around it? And also pets. You really want to think about, particularly with tiki torches, you really have to make sure they're planted really well, and you got to make sure your dog isn't going to think of it as a big stick to play with.
Just lastly, I know we've been covering a story about a man who fell overboard when he was adjusting the bumper on his boat, and it took his life after a wave hit the boat. We always think, okay, we know we have to have life vests on the boat, but a lot of people forget to wear them, or they take them off, or they think, I swim all the time, I know how to swim, I'm invincible to this.
Right, and I think it's really important just to make sure that you not only have them, but that you're wearing them. I mean, it's not going to do you any good if they're not on.
All right, Amy Cronin, thanks so much for giving us that advice and those reminders. We appreciate it.